The air crackled with unease, whispers circulated among crew members. Something felt different on the set of MrBeast's latest challenge. Gone was the light-hearted laughter, replaced by a palpable tension. The once jovial YouTuber seemed distant, his eyes holding a disturbing glint. Even the challenges themselves took a darker turn. The stakes were higher, the punishments more intense. Fans dismissed the shift as a creative evolution, but those closest to MrBeast knew something was wrong. His generosity, once boundless, now felt calculated, almost desperate. His smile, once genuine, now appeared strained, a mask hiding a growing darkness. The whispers intensified after the abandoned Asylum challenge. The Asylum stood on a desolate hill, shrouded in an aura of mystery and foreboding. Its presence loomed over the landscape like a dark sentinel, a relic of a bygone era, its decaying walls whispering tales of madness and despair, each crack and crevice holding secrets of the tormented souls that once roamed its halls. The very air seemed to hum with the echoes of their anguish. MrBeast had chosen this location for his most ambitious challenge yet, a 24-hour stay in the Asylum's most haunted wing. The challenge was not just a test of endurance, but a confrontation with the unknown. The contestants, hand-picked for their fearlessness, felt a chill run down their spines as they entered. Each step they took seemed to resonate with the cries of the past, the weight of history pressing down on them. The air grew heavy, the silence broken only by the creaking of the building. Contestant 1, cameras glitched, audio distorted. It was as if the Asylum itself was resisting their presence, trying to expel the intruders. Batteries drained at an alarming rate, as if the very energy of the place was being sapped away. The contestants could feel the oppressive atmosphere closing in on them. Contestant 2, equipment malfunctioned in ways the seasoned crew had never encountered. Then, the screams began. Piercing, blood-curdling screams that seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. Contestants reported seeing shadowy figures, feeling icy touches, and sensing a malevolent presence, watching their every move. The shadows seemed to dance and shift, playing tricks on their minds. Hearing whispers of their deepest fears, the contestants were pushed to the brink of their sanity. The Asylum was not just a building, it was a living entity, feeding off their terror and despair. Fear turned to panic. The contestants, their bravado shattered, begged to leave the Asylum. But MrBeast, his eyes burning with an unsettling intensity, insisted they continue. He dismissed their pleas, his voice taking on a chillingly calm cadence. The crew watched in horror as their friend seemed to disappear before their eyes, replaced by something cold and calculating. His obsession with pushing boundaries had morphed into something sinister. He seemed to relish in the contestants' terror, feeding off their fear. The challenges became increasingly dangerous, bordering on reckless. The light-hearted pranks and generous giveaways were a distant memory. The culmination of this descent arrived with the announcement of MrBeast's most extreme challenge yet: survive 1 week on a remote island rumoured to be cursed. The prize, an unprecedented $10 million. The contestants, a mix of seasoned adventurers and wide-eyed hopefuls, were ferried to the island. A sense of foreboding settled upon them as the mainland disappeared from view. The island was shrouded in an unnatural silence. The air hung heavy, thick with the smell of decay and a lurking menace. As darkness fell, strange symbols etched into the ancient trees flickered into existence. The contestants huddled together, their faces illuminated by the eerie glow. Panic set in as contestants began to vanish. One by one, they disappeared into the shadows, their screams swallowed by the oppressive jungle. The remaining contestants, their nerves frayed, stumbled upon a clearing. In the center, a stone altar, stained with what appeared to be blood, stood bathed in the flickering light of torches. The air was thick with tension, every rustle of leaves sending shivers down their spines. And there, standing before the altar, was MrBeast. His eyes glowed with an unholy light, his features contorted in a grotesque mockery of a smile. He chanted in an unknown language, his voice resonating with an otherworldly power. The words seemed to twist and writhe in the air, filling the clearing with a palpable sense of dread. He was no longer the prankster they knew. He was a conduit, a vessel for something ancient and evil. The contestants could feel the malevolent energy pulsating from him, a dark force that seemed to reach out and grip their very souls. They were trapped, ensnared in a ritual that defied all logic and reason. The jungle, once a place of adventure and excitement, had transformed into a nightmarish realm where reality and horror intertwined. The contestants knew they had to escape, but the path was unclear, and the darkness seemed to close in around them, suffocating their hopes of survival. Emily, a former contestant and MrBeast's closest confidant, refused to believe the truth. She couldn't accept that the friend she once knew had been consumed by darkness. She ventured to the island, determined to save her friend from the darkness that had consumed him. The journey was perilous, but her resolve was unshakable. She confronted him, her voice trembling but firm, pleading with him to break free. Her heart ached as she saw the emptiness in his eyes, but her words were met with a cold, hollow laugh. The friend she once knew seemed lost forever. The entity within MrBeast was too powerful. It had taken over completely, leaving no trace of the man he once was. Terror gripped Emily's heart, but she stood her ground. She knew she had to be strong, not just for herself, but for the friend she hoped to save. She had to save him, to remind him of the good he once possessed. She remembered the countless times he had shown kindness and generosity. "He's gone, Emily. He served his purpose. Now it's your turn." The words echoed in her mind, but she refused to give up.
"Please, you have to fight it. Remember who you are. Remember the good." Her voice was filled with desperation and hope.
The struggle for MrBeast's soul had begun. Emily knew it wouldn't be easy, but she was prepared to fight with everything she had. She believed in the power of friendship and the strength of the human spirit. Section 7. Vanished. A blinding light erupted from the altar, throwing Emily back. She shielded her eyes, the air thick with the stench of sulphur. When the light subsided, MrBeast was gone. The island stood silent, the only sound the crashing waves against the rocky shore. The entity and MrBeast had vanished. Emily awoke hours later. The chilling events seared into her memory. She returned to the mainland, forever changed by the horrors she had witnessed. The authorities dismissed her story as a desperate attempt for fame, but Emily knew the truth. MrBeast was gone, taken by a force beyond comprehension. Section 8. The search begins. News of MrBeast's disappearance sent shockwaves across the internet. Fans refused to believe their idol was truly gone. Theories ran rampant, from elaborate pranks to government conspiracies. But Emily knew the truth was far more sinister. Haunted by guilt and fear, Emily dedicated herself to uncovering the truth behind MrBeast's disappearance.
I scoured ancient texts, consulted with occult experts, and followed the trail of cryptic clues left behind. Each dead end fueled my determination, pushing me deeper into the unknown.
Section 9. A Glimmer of Hope? Weeks turned into months, the mystery deepening with each passing day. Just when her hope began to dwindle, Emily discovered a hidden message embedded within one of MrBeast's old videos. It was a plea for help, a desperate attempt to leave a trail before the entity consumed him entirely. The message contained coordinates leading to a location deep in the Appalachian Mountains. Could this be the key to finding MrBeast? Could he still be alive, trapped somewhere between this world and the next? Section 10. The Nightmare Lingers. Armed with newfound hope and a heavy heart, Emily sets out on a perilous journey into the unknown. The fate of MrBeast and the truth behind the Island of Terror hangs in the balance. The nightmare is far from over.
Was MrBeast a willing participant in this dark ritual, or an unwitting pawn in a game played by forces beyond our understanding?